Shalom, this is Yehudit Goldfarb. I want to share with you the movements I'm doing today, the 16th day of Tevet, which is the 13th day in my count of the 100 days of Sarah's meditation square. It extends from the day after Hanukkah until Purim. And the parallel count I'm doing of the 42 days of Ana Bakoa, the words in Ana Bakoa, and the letters that consist of the 42-letter name of Hashem that started Zot Hanukkah, the last day of Hanukkah, and extends to Tu B'Shvat. So let's start. 13 is in its correct place. It's in the appropriate place in the magic square of Sarah. It's the 13th box or room. The first row has 10, first house it's called, the first row has 10 rooms, and we're in the second row now, and we're in the third box of the second row, which is 13. And it's a Yud and a Gimel is how you express 13 in the Hebrew alphabet. So that's what we're doing, embodying the Hebrew alphabet here as numbers. So Yud would be, to do a center Yud, like this. And a Gimel is stepping forward, and the back toe turns over, and your knees are close, and then you reverse yourself and come back. So it's a Yud, which is 10, and you add 3 to that to make 13. So that's the room that we're in now. In terms of this, we just introduced in terms of the Sefirot equivalents that I've been using, the magic square, each row being a Sefirot, starting with Keter at the top row, Keter on the left side, and coming all the way down to 100. It's Malkhut Malkhut, Malkhut plus Malkhut. So I do the nikudot after I show you the letters for each square, and I'm wearing a lot of colors that fit with the rainbow system of what the energies are today, and they're all blues and greens, because many people talk about Chokhmah as blue, and we're in the whole house of Chokhmah. The second row is the house of Chokhmah. We're in the third day of that. We've done Keter, Chokhmah, and now we're in Bina. And Bina, understanding, is usually associated with green. So I have several different greens on at different levels, because the Ana Bakoa is in the third verse of Ana Bakoa, which is the verse of Tiferet, because Ana Bakoa has 7 lines and starts with Hesed, then Gבור, then Tiferet, and we're the second word, Gibor, which is the Gevura of Tiferet, and Gevura in the rainbow system is blues. So I have blue and green because it's Gevura Sheba Tiferet, and I have blue and green because it's in the house of Chokhmah in the room of Bina today. So it's a lot of beautiful blue and green energies, which I happen to like and wear a lot. And during the last count I did, I was wearing a lot of oranges and reds, because the Zohar system has many more orange, red, yellows, and that end of the spectrum than my wardrobe usually has in it. So I've pushed myself for that one. I'm going back to the rainbow system for a while. So let's get started though on the important thing, the movements for Yud and Gimel combination with all the Sefirot. I'm going to sound it from Keter to Malkhut, to image that in my body as I'm sounding. I'm not just sounding, but I'm thinking Keter as the crown, Chokhmah, Bina, 2 sides of the brain, and then Hesed and Gevur are your 2 arms, and Tiferet at the center, the chest, and yes, Netzach and hold your 2 hips and legs, and Yesod the private parts, and Malkhut grounding, which can be talked of, some people talk of it as the feet, but it's really like wherever the center of your being is. And it doesn't have a nikudah to go with it. It's being breathed by Hashem. So the Chokmah that we're in, the whole house we're in for this week, more than a week, 10 days, we're in the place of recognizing the oneness beneath all reality, before, pre-verbal, pre-getting involved in the duality. Bina is a duality, and it's interesting that, blues and greens, duality. The blue itself of the sky, when it's not filled with clouds, is like an expansive universe of blue. Maybe that's why Chokmah is associated with blue. It has other associations with other writers. Talk about it sometimes as the multiplicity, actually, of colors, but it's the underlying unity within the multiplicity. And Bina emphasizes the multiplicity and is green. In many different places talked about as green. So let's do 13, Yud and Gimel. And I'm going through the body in my mind as I'm saying the sentence. And I've been doing the sounds after each of the letters. I'm going to switch to doing the sound at the end, the second letter. It just doesn't feel right. I've not tried it this way before. At this point, in the place of Bina trying to understand what this is about more and what I'm doing, I feel more unified as we get to this place of the Bina of Chokmah, to just take, when the number is a combination of Hebrew letters, take it as a unity and sound the sound of that Sefirot as one rather than as two. Okay, so that's a change that I'm starting now. So this has a Yud. I'm going to do Keter now, the sound of the Kamatz, and then stepping forward for the Gimel. Ga. In fact, I think I'm just going to do the sound of the Sefirot, because that's how I'm imaging it in my body. And the second one will be Chokmah, and the sound of Patach. Gimel, right brain. That was a Yud. Then the Gimel, the right brain, and then continue. Bina is a Sarai, the A. Yud. And Gimel. That's it. It's a symbol. Ferret. Do on the right side as a holam. Oh. Netzach. Tariq. Old caboose. Ooh. Yesod. Sharuk. Ooh. Malkhut has been released. Doing the Sefirot combinations for Chokhmah plus Bina, the room of Bina in the house of Chokhmah. So Chokhmah is the Patach, the A sound. Bina is the Tzere, A sound. We do it 5 times, doing the shapes as I do it, and 1 for each level of soul. Yechidah, the uniqueness, Chayah, the vitality of integrated life energy, the Neshamah of the intellectual level of our soul, Ruach, the emotional, and Nefesh, the physical dimensions. Okay. Starting with Chokhmah. Bina. Yechidah. Chayah. Neshamah. Ruach. Nefesh. So as I've said several times, many writers about the Sarah Meditation Square talk about Sarah as a form of a divine name, because every line in this magic square adds up to 505, the gamatria of Sarah. Has something to do with the cultivation of the spiritual path of unconditional love and joyous, divine joyfulness. I like that language. And eventual unity. And when I think about divine unity, I think for myself of the challenge of trying to be aligned with Hashem's will for me. Recognize what that is, what I need to be doing, how I need to be. That for me is what it means, with a sense of love for doing this, of being like Hashem in a unified will of how I need to be in the world. And that when it seems to be a real manifestation, when I feel that that's happening, there is an automatic, there's joyfulness in that. That's sort of my overall sense right now. I'll share that with you. Then I take this to Ana Bakoa, which is a different kind of energy. And just as holy and just as in a different way, because it starts at Hesed, it's a little more grounded in this world, because it has words, not just numbers. It feels more grounding by putting Hebrew letters to the numbers in the magic square. That in itself, I feel, helps ground it in our body and in this world. But the numbers, the counting 10 Sefirot come first, and the Hebrew letters are the pathways between those. So, in doing Anabakoach, it's kind of, I guess for me, a fleshing out of some of the work that I'm doing in the Sarah meditation square and making it more real in everyday practice. So today is the word of gבור, the second word in the third line of Anabakoach. It means strong one. Gבור is strength, strong. And it has the gimel. We had Yud Gimel for our. It's interesting to see some parallels happening. We worked with the gimel in the magic square. So let me show you the letters. Gimel we had is stepping forward. The back toe turns over. Gבור, the bet is like this. And if you want to put the negation, you do it there. The O, kolam, above is that O, and the Resh can be centered. Can be right or left, but I like it centered. Let me do it again from the side, because that's how it's more visible. Gבור. I invite you to just, as you're doing these movements, to feel what is it like in your own body? What happens to your own body? For the example, I'm doing a centered Resh at the end. There is such a strength as you bring the energy up and then out with your head in a humble place, looking down at the earth, and then you lift the head, Rosh. It's lifted and open out. My sense is always with this sense of community and connectedness on the horizontal level. So you're not only paying attention to the earth, but to the connectedness with other members of humanity and other members of living on this earth, other manifestations here on this plane. So, okay, gבור. I'm going to do it. The word 4 times, one for each level, each world. Starting with the silu, again, I'm focusing on bringing energy down, lights down into this world and being able to manifest here. So, gimel. Bet. Do the gesher knot. Olam and Resh. Gבור. Bria now, world you get syrup. Asiya, physical world. Action level. Each time pausing, knees are slightly bent, hanging from a string, letting myself be breathed. Then the nikudot for this is gבור Shabbat Teferet, shoulder width apart. Svanach for gבור, Teferet the whole arm. Oh, 3 levels. That's Nefesh. Oh, it's Ruach for the Neshamah, Ruach, and Nefesh. Oh. Able to set clear boundaries in a balanced way, in a harmonious way. Strength and power within a harmonious whole. And then I do the review of the first letters of each of the words in Anabakoa, the 2 that come at the end of the line, the last letter, the 6th letter of the first line, the second line, both have final forms. So in this pattern, usually the final form is used, even though it was the first letter of the 6th word and the 12th word. We're now on the 14th word. Okay. Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Yud, Tav, Zadi, Kaf, Kuf, Resh, Ayin, Shin, Tet, and Nun. Nun, Gimel. And then I've been closing with bringing the whole tree of life from Keter Keter in movement to ground myself in the present moment strongly. From isness to presence. Ah. Ah. Eh. 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 Oh. E. Ooh. Ooh. So may we be blessed with being able to have clarity in our understanding as we keep tuning into the unity underlying all reality, and may we have strength and power to live strongly within our boundaries and our limitations, recognizing what they are within a context of the larger balance and harmony in our lives. May we manifest Hashem's will for us in the best possible way. May Hashem bless us.